Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 141 of the MTB podcast, presented and hosted by Worldwide Cyclery. I'm Jared.
I'm Liam.
I'm Trevor.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The three amigos are in the house tonight.
Back.
We have a great episode for you today. In this episode, we will discuss some epic trips and rides we've been getting into lately, some new exotic parks we're trying out, and some listener questions ranging from if our lives were movies to on-trail hydration strategies, tire and drivetrain setups, and everything in between.
Everything.
Let's get into it.
That's a wide range of things. Getting right into it. Zach's words of wisdom. If you want happiness for half an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go ride your bike. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. Assuming the fortune only lasts a year, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
just a year.
Well, the way Zach will spend it, it will.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't know if those are real words of wisdom, to be honest, but
Yeah, I think he kind of mailed this one in. But you know, that's okay. We can't expect like heroic words of wisdom
Yeah.
every time.
yeah.
And
You
that's
can't-
just unrealistic.
Exactly, yeah.
You
yeah.
know?
He set the bar high, but he really needed to, like, drop it a few rungs.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll get him next time, Zach. Daniel's fun fact. Continents shift at about the same rate as your fingernails grow.
Do your fingernails and toenails grow at different rates? Because mine do.
Mine
I
do.
think they do.
Is that a
yeah.
thing?
Definitely. My fingernails grow faster than my toenails.
Yeah, like
But your
2 or 3
toenails,
times as
your
fast.
toenails might be blunted by socks and shoes, maybe.
Oh,
Blunted.
interesting.
And your fingernails are open and exposed.
Wow.
Maybe.
Getting scientific here.
I like to take care of my fingernails because I work,
yeah.
work with my hands.
Yeah.
and It's pretty important.
You don't want to get a bunch of dirt under there.
I don't
so
even like
break 'em.
typing if my fingernails touch the keys.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Absolutely not. That's like the red flag, like time
That's
to.
an ick, as the
yeah.
girls would say. That's
Yeah.
an
And
ick.
if you see, like, you've probably seen some of these girls out here with insane fingernails that are like an inch or two long.
I can't.
How do you go about your daily
You
life?
ever hear him texting?
Oh, I hate that. Like, clack, 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 clack,
Yeah,
clack.
yeah.
I hate that. That's the ick right
Not
there.
my thing.
So back to the fingernail growth thing. I saw this thing where like LA and San Francisco are going to be like next to each other in like 15 million years because of this. Because
They're on the
they
same
grow,
continent.
but they're on different tectonic plates.
Oh,
There's been a fair amount of earthquakes in California.
there has
recently.
been, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one yesterday.
We're shifting.
4.4 earthquake
4-4.
yesterday.
Yeah, I saw a video of Buddy's bike shop and knocked a chain off the wall.
Whoa.
He just like looked back and like whole wall shook and like chain just fell off, like a
Wow.
GX chain. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It's definitely scary when things start falling off the walls. I think I had that once in like the last couple years with some
California
Yeah.
problems.
I was just teaching people. I don't know where I was, but they didn't know that you went under a door frame when the earthquake happens.
Oh, really?
They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, that's like the strongest part of where you're at.
Yeah.
Unless you can go in the middle of nowhere, like
Yeah.
you go in the door frame. I'm like, you grew up in California and didn't know this?
Right?
Yeah, if they grew up in California and didn't know that, they weren't paying attention in school.
right.
It's like when you're supposed to get under your desk, or same thing, right?
Yeah,
if you're in
yeah.
school, you get under your desk. I don't
So
know.
if you're in California and don't know that, you get under a door frame if you're within a building.
Yeah.
That's the safest place during an earthquake.
Or like under a desk.
Under a desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under a desk. Speaking of things, fantastic testimonials. This one I thought was pretty nice. Kettle Skidmark mountain bike shorts. You guys are nailing the kit game. Small details matter. Whoever is designing and doing some work and putting in thought. Whoever is designing is doing some work and putting in thought. The fit and feel is amazing. Thanks for what you do and what you stand for. I like that.
Thanks, Guy.
Lit kit.
For the record, I think the Skidmark shorts are some of the best mountain bike shorts I've ever used, like totally unbiased. But the material is pretty different than anything I've ever used
It's
on a mountain bike
durable.
short. And yeah, the fit and the features are just really nice and
Yeah.
well thought
I
out.
just rode them a lot in Colorado. It was quite nice.
Yeah, they're great.
Um,
I was skeptical at first because you're like, whoa, what is this material? It's like
Yeah.
nothing.
Seems like it'd be a little hot, but
yeah, no,
it doesn't
it's,
really get hot.
it's actually really, really nice. So there you go. Fantastic testimonial.
I did think I thought the fantastic testimonials were also like supposed to be like the first few
Podcast.
we started with, where
Yeah.
people were like kind of ragging on
Oh,
us,
yeah.
which I thought was funny. I mean, it's amazing to have people shout us out with like fantastic actual testimonials. but
Right.
I really like the sarcastic ones.
Maybe I'll go through
Or the ones maybe we take in sarcastically.
Maybe I'll go through some of like the Spotify or whatever,
Yeah,
Apple
see-
podcast
see if anyone's
reviews. and
ragging us.
Find some good ones
Yeah.
there. People are ragging us.
Some they're sort of like Yelp reviews.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, one guy was ragging Jeff, and that was the best. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Find them where they rag on Jeff.
That's
Not me.
right.
I don't know if I can take it.
No, I don't think there's any actually of us being ragged at all.
It's all Jeff?
All Jeff.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
We delete them if they do rag on us.
Exactly. Well, speaking of fantastic things, bikes and rides we've been enjoying lately. Liam, you were just on a banger of a trip in Colorado.
Went on a bender.
You went on a bender.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, Jeff and I went on a Chasing Epic trip in Colorado, in Salida, Colorado. Just Jeff and I went. You two, Trevor and Jared, went on
Utah.
Hurricane, Utah early in the year.
That's right.
So we split these up, went 2 and 2 this time. So yeah, Jeff and I went out there. We drove my van from Cali.
Nice. How'd she do?
Great, dude. She chugs. Only goes 82, which is kind of a problem once you get out of like kind of the LA area and the speed limit's 80.
Yeah.
And big rigs are passing me doing like 85, 90.
I saw a Sprinter pass me going like at least 85 going out to Colorado.
Actual
myself.
Sprinter?
Yes.
Sprinter?
It was a newer one.
Must have been deleted.
Took that governor
It
off.
looked like
Yeah.
one of those like Revel ones,
Yeah.
Revel vans, you
It's
know.
probably deleted
Probably
because I believe, to my knowledge, they all go 82.
Yeah.
Amazon ones only go like 66.
That's
Whoa.
good.
Yeah.
I don't want those guys going there. But yeah,
So
Colorado.
yeah, Colorado. We made a pit stop at Revel Bikes on the way out. Showed up on Friday, hung out with them, hung out with former founder CEO Adam for a little bit before he took off.
Nice.
And then we caught they barbecued. They had a butt off. You know.
I heard there was
roasted
a barbecue.
Butt. Yeah.
Butt off.
Pork butt.
Pork butt.
Butt,
Yeah.
butt pig.
Yeah.
Some pulled pork.
Yeah. It was
Really
bomb.
good.
Yep.
Wow.
And then we caught a little bit of the Mountain Fair, which is like an awesome hippie fair
Sick.
in Carbondale.
You guys
Great.
go on the river?
Yeah. And then the next day, they were all like, oh, do you guys want to ride bikes? Well, even when we got there on Friday, and we're like, not really. And then we're going to do tons of riding. And like on Saturday, like, oh, what do you want to do? You want to ride bikes? And we're like, we want to go on the river.
Yeah.
We can ride bikes every day. Like, we don't have boats to go on the river. We don't have cool rivers everywhere like you guys do.
Yeah.
And it's sick. So we went up and we floated the Shoshone, I believe.
That's cool.
Got some like, semi-proper rapids in there,
Yeah, pretty aggressive.
Got decently aggressive, yeah. It wasn't
Nice.
like, super scary, but like it was serious. Like you could flip a boat and have to like, manage your way out of the rapids kind of thing.
You end up in the water?
No, we're all good.
Nice. Nice.
There's one time we got a little caught and we almost went over, but
Oh.
I didn't think so. And then they were like, yeah, we almost went over. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's so like climactic because it's just dead water. It's
I know.
really still. You hear it come and it gets louder and louder and louder, and then you just drop in. Like there's so much anticipation
Yeah.
involved in that.
But it was cool. I mean, it's fun to do, stuff that we don't normally do. I was telling them, like, they have even have a company boat, Revel Boat Works.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to get any work done during the summer. I'd be floating this river all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Twist my arm.
So that was cool. Then we went to Salida, and yeah, we had 4 days of high alpine riding.
Sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
And Slide is like kind of below Crested Butte or like to the south of Crested
I'd
Butte a
say
little
it's
bit.
east of Crested Butte.
Nice.
Yeah, south-ish of Aspen.
Gotcha.
Sick. Oh, you were right there then.
Yeah.
From Revel.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, about 2 hours from Carbondale,
Not bad.
and then 2 hours from Colorado Springs. So
Nice.
kind of in that zone.
Sick.
Yeah, spend a lot of time on the crest, 3 days on the Monarch Crest, which is kind of like this ridge that runs like what probably started like 9,500 feet. And I think probably go over like a couple spots are about 12.5, 12.4 on the crest.
Sick.
Super high.
Yeah, it's pretty high above tree line. Then there's a bunch of trails that drop off the crest back into the valleys.
Wow.
So rode all the main ones off the crest. And then we had a sick day up Canyon Creek, which is a full pedal day. It was like 3,800 feet, proper hike a bike.
Wow.
I think that one was closer to 13,000 foot peak up there.
Sick.
So yeah, super fun, high alpine riding, awesome crew of people, our guides. We had Ben and Dave they run Colorado Backcountry, were our guides that Chasing Epic hires. Awesome guides. They're so fun. We've had them like probably 5 trips now or so.
Sick. Yeah, same guys as Crested Butte a couple years
Yep.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, super fun. Rode my Rebel Rail 2.9 whole time. Jeff was on his Banshee Titan. No mechanicals for us.
No mechanicals.
No mechanicals.
That's
Boom.
good.
Yeah, no mechanicals. I was running Michelin wild tires,
Really?
wild enduros. They were actually really good.
You liked them?
Yeah, I liked them a lot.
Nice.
Um,
Downhill casing or like what casing?
it's like a double down equivalent.
Nice.
Did anyone on the trip have major mechanicals?
A few flats here or there. One of the guys' brakes stopped working, so I bled that in the evening for him.
That's nice of you.
Solid.
But I mean, when Dave flatted, he's a guide, but it's Dave, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just messing. But yeah, not too bad. No major crashes, I don't think. There's obviously some people crash, but nothing like catastrophic happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone finised all the days.
Cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And then from there, I drove to Colorado Springs, where I went to Rock Shock SRAM for a day. Hung out there. They're awesome. Really hospitable. I was there for the Explore Red launch, so it was kind of cool. They had like a little party and some drinks and stuff.
That's cool.
And yeah, rode a little bit there and made my way home.
They show you some top secret stuff.
Not so much top secret stuff. Showed me where they make the top secret stuff.
Ooh.
A bunch of like prototyping rooms and stuff
cool.
floating around, you know. But yeah, I think a lot of the stuff, that was kind of the last launch of the year, so they're preparing to like show everything for the next year soon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Trevor? You did some cool mountain riding this last weekend, huh?
Yeah, I've just been riding local, but I put some new suspension on my SP140. So got some EXT suspension sent over, some high-end Italian stuff right there.
No,
Is it Italian?
I believe it is Italian.
Yeah, it's Italian.
Yeah, but they have the US extension or whatever.
Yeah.
And they, it's the Era V2.1 fork. So they revised V2 fork and then the Storia V4 shock. Coil shock. So yeah, super different than what I was running. I was running full rock shock setup, a Lyric and a Super Deluxe. So it's been cool to test that out on the 140, especially with the coil shock. Just a completely different setup. With the fork, there's two positive air chambers, so a lot more tuning with that. And I'm still trying to figure it out. I feel like the European suspension like EXT and Öhlins with the dual air chambers have a bit more of a, like, you have to tune it based off of the damping more than the air spring. So it's a little bit just a different style of riding than what I'm used to. I'm so used to riding the Rock Shocks and Fox stuff. So
A little bit of a learning curve.
figuring it out. Yeah, me and Liam are headed off to Mexico tomorrow. So gonna be riding that there and doing a lot of shuttling and riding. So get it pretty dialed in there and get some words down for that. So look for that in the future.
Hell yeah. Sick. I'm looking forward to that.
But it's been cool to ride the coil shock on the 140 as well. I haven't really seen too many coils on a 140.
You really don't.
So at first it felt super dead, but I think I had the rebound all wrong and sped up the rebound. And yeah, it's the harder you push it, the better it feels. So figuring it out, and it's pretty cool.
Sick. Love
Does
to
that
hear
have a hydraulic bottom out on that?
It does have a
does,
hydraulic
nice,
bottom out.
yeah.
Yep. So I've been playing with that too, and you kind of need some aggressive trails to really reach that bottom out like hydraulic bottom out. But we'll get there.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. I think I might have to get a coil for my 140 at some point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
J-Dad?
Yeah. Speaking of Colorado, I was out there with some buddies of mine for my bachelor party, I guess you would call it.
Oh boy.
I mean, it was a bachelor party, so.
It was, yeah. But yeah, Breckenridge, got to ride some pretty cool trails, and man, what can you say about Breckenridge that hasn't already been said? I mean, the place is pretty amazing, isn't it? Gosh, and that was pretty much it. Just like picked a place that was pretty close to trails, so it could just like hop on and pedal around, and like wasn't like a gnarly mountain bike vacation by any means, like a Chasing Epic trip or anything like that. It was more so just like hanging out, drinking a ton of beer, and then like fitting in bike rides when we could.
Sweet.
But that was pretty sick. And gosh, yeah, I don't know. I could spend a lot of time out there just riding constantly.
Yeah. Especially like with the afternoon storms that pretty much were almost every day in Colorado. The dirt's pretty good. The weather's good. You go out in the morning, you got good dirt. You get back before the storms come in, like proper.
Yeah.
The vibe in all those little small mountain towns in Colorado are so awesome. Like, Carbondale or Vail or Breckenridge, all those towns, like, and they have a little fair or like a rodeo going on in the summertime. And afternoon thunderstorms, it's awesome. I love it up there.
Yeah, it's a total vibe.
It's cool.
If you have the chance, you should check out the Breckenridge distillery. I don't know if we did that when we were there. I think we just went to the tasting room.
Just like in tasting room.
But the actual distillery is pretty sick. We did a tour. That was super fun. And dinner, the food at the distillery is like insane. It's like the dinner you did. It was just like top notch tomahawks and like really great cuts of steak and stuff like that. But yeah, that was legit. Super funny. So we were driving back and
You drove there?
We drove there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we drove. And because we got 4 bikes or whatever. And so we stopped in Vegas. We actually drove through the night on the way out there, which I'll never do again. That was
brutal.
it was
It's
brutal.
tough. Yeah. Straight to Breckenridge?
Straight to Breck.
Oh, wow.
We left
16
Irvine.
hours?
Yeah, probably 15, 16 hours. We left Irvine at like 9:30 p.m.
Whoa.
Oh.
Got to Breck at like 2:30 or like Frisco, 2:30 p.m. the next day.
Ouch.
It was brutal. Yeah, but it was savage. Just like did shifts, swapped out, got tired, shift, swap out. But and so we drove on the way back. We're like, all right, we're gonna stop. We spend the night in Vegas and just get some really good food and chill. And we pull up to the hotel. Like valet guy opens the door and he goes, I watch your YouTube videos.
Oh, no way. No way.
It's just like, whoa.
That's crazy.
And even it's like, hey, what's up, man? You're just, I watch your YouTube videos.
That's crazy.
It's like, whoa, hey, what's up, dude?
Oh, it's funny.
It was hilarious. And I was like, wait, what? Dude, what a trip. But yeah, super fun trip. Love Colorado. Yeah.
Nice.
Breckenridge is awesome. Sorry, you might have to bleep that out, dog.
Heck yeah.
1629. Yeah, pretty epic. Gosh, I bet you guys are pretty stoked to go to Mexico, though.
Very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be mostly shuttling pretty much the whole time, right?
Mostly shuttling,
Yep.
and then the weather looks like it's going to be pretty good too, like 75 or so during the day and humid for sure, but afternoon thunderstorms kind of similar to Colorado and should have perfect dirt. At least that's what it seems like. So
Nice.
pretty excited
Pretty
about
stoked.
that.
Wow.
Bike's all set up, ready to rip.
Mm-hmm.
Downhill tires on,
Nice.
38 on.
That's right.
Ready
You're
to
bringing
bark.
the Rebel Rail 2.9 with a push shock
Push the new one, the SV8,
SV8.
and a 38 set at 170 on the
Wow.
front, and downhill tires.
Things ready to plow.
So both of our bikes are set up to go for it.
to shuttle, not necessarily
Yeah,
set
they're
up
both.
for pedaling.
We weighed them.
No.
I weighed my bike today, and it's like 35 pounds. So
Yeah.
so is Liam's. So they're proper. I mean,
Sick.
Big dogs.
mhm.
Yep.
Man, I'm so hyped for
They're
you
gonna
guys.
eat. So
That's going to be
should
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing just like your trail report and just like what the whole dynamic or the whole trip is like, because I've never ridden south of the border.
I know I haven't. Trevor's ridden Oaxaca, but I haven't ridden in Mexico. I've been to Mexico to hang out and party and whatnot, but yeah, I'm stoked for the city. I'm stoked for the riding. I think it's gonna be a cool experience all around.
Yeah.
I think if the dirt's good, it's going to be a treat as well. Just
Yeah.
so much shuttling and downhill riding, and I'm bringing the DJI action camera too, so we'll get some
Yeah.
footage up and should be cool.
Footy for the boys.
Footy.
Sick. Epic. Well, should we jump into a couple listener questions for our break?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. I am a cross-country racer, and I was reading Liam's article on his long-term tests of Max's XC tires, and he mentioned he uses the Turbo Light inserts. I'm assuming it's the blue Turbo Light inserts, and I'm wondering if he was using the Diamana or just the regular insert. I'm thinking of running the Aspen 120 TPI, but I only want to if I have good inserts. If you could get back to me on this, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, yes, I do run the Turbo Light inserts. They are the regular inserts, the older ones, but it seems like they're discontinuing
Yeah,
them.
they changed it up.
They changed
big
it,
time.
and they're no longer. The new one is no longer having the same theory of the current ones that I'm running. So I bought 4.
Oh,
I have 4 freshies that I'm just hanging on to. They're not super expensive. Yeah, the new ones are like double the weight, and they don't have the same volume.
weird.
So the old ones are like very poo noodle-esque. They're big volume. They're very soft.
What would you
And
compare it to?
It looks way different.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the new
totally
one,
different.
like the ridge or like stepped design almost.
Yeah, they're saying somehow it increases rolling resistance because it I don't know, some type of like cylindrical air force,
When you
golf
say,
ball
you
effect.
mean like it makes it faster or
Yeah.
reduce? Or okay, so,
so
reduces
reduces,
rolling. Okay.
reducing rolling resistance.
Interesting.
I don't know. That's a pretty bold claim to add weight and reduce rolling resistance, but I really like the OG ones. I'm bummed. It seems like they're discontinuing them, so I bought 4. That being said, it is a lot like the Victoria Airliner Light, but that one is a lot softer. You know, I don't think it has quite the support that the Turbo Light OG ones have. So that's what I'm running. I bought 4 extras to hopefully get me through. And then, I'll have to find some other ones. I don't know.
It seems like the new Turbo Light inserts are more of like a XC Cush Core kind of deal. with
Yeah,
like that same sort of
exactly.
material almost, not as much of a foam, but like a more of a dense foam.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Turbo Lights are it's really light foam.
Yeah, the current ones are like literally a remolded pool noodle.
Yeah.
But they weigh like 55, 60 grams.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sweet spot. For
Yeah, and they have great support. So on your Aspen 120, you could run that insert. You know, I was running like 18, 19 PSI with Aspens at Moab Rocks this year with those inserts. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to find some new ones. But yes, I am running those OG ones. If you can find them, I would recommend buying them up. They're light and supportive. So
yeah. Again, I guess if you couldn't get those, would you get the Vittoria Airliner Light?
The Vittoria Airliner Light's pretty good. I still don't think it has quite the support I'm after.
Like a Cushcore XC.
It kind of,
is that what you do?
Even then, no, I don't know. I'd have to do some research. The Rimpact Pro or Rimpact XC inserts look okay. Some of the new Tannis stuff looks like it could be sweet. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot out there. There's just the
Tannis
Peppies
changed up their stuff completely as well.
Tannis just redid their whole insert line as well. Pepe's tire noodle, Pepe's noodle, something like that. Mm-hmm. Those ones seem pretty decent. They're a little heavier, but they've got quite a bit of support. So, yeah,
interesting. Yeah, there's really a wide breadth and like spectrum of tire inserts
and different materials and kind of what they do, right? Like, but I'm after support. And a little bit of rim protection, but mostly I want the support aspect.
Yeah.
Versus like just the rim and rim protection, which I think Cushcore is a bit more like rim protection way, not so much support.
Yeah.
But
I was running the Vittoria Airliner Light with a Forecaster EXO Plus rear tire for Downeyville. So I took that tire off because that tire was pretty much done after the race and was just inspecting it just to see. And it did seem like it absorbed sealant a lot and it wasn't expanding at all. Like it seemed like it was kind of toast after that trip.
Yeah.
I don't know if the sealant was not good or what, but because I had to put in some old sealant after I flatted. So maybe the sealant wasn't good anymore, but yeah, it seemed like it absorbed the sealant and also
like almost shrunk in size.
It did shrink a little bit. Yeah, it was like didn't expand to the volume that I really was expecting it to. So that was interesting. It did take the abuse pretty good though. It wasn't like falling apart or anything like that or ripped open or had a couple little cuts in it, but that's kind of expected. Like if you see a normal Cushcore, it gets pretty abused. But
And you didn't break a wheel, right?
Didn't break a wheel. I just flatted that one time.
5 minutes in. Day one.
Day
He's like,
one
I'm going to take it easy. Come around the corner. Trevor's flatted.
Yeah, that was not good. But,
Buzzkill.
But it, the rim survived and lived to see another day.
Yeah. That's good. That's important.
My inserts were pretty toast. Mm-hmm. I was changing tires before race day, and I was showing the guys I had big cuts and gashes in mine, but no flats. So they did their job.
I guess that means it did the job, right? Yeah. If you could see the proof. Proof's in the pudding. All right. If your life was a movie, which movie would you want it to be, Liam?
I don't know.
It's a tough question.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
What did you think about it?
Movies.
Because me and Jared were talking about this when we were looking over the questions before the podcast, and first thing that came to my brain was Happy Gilmore. And Jared was thinking the same exact thing.
It's funny because I was literally thought about this for like at least 10 or 15 minutes, and I came to the conclusion like if I was in an action movie, I'm thinking Point Break. I am Keanu Reeves. and if it was a comedy, I'm thinking Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison. That's another great, like honestly, and I was thinking you couldn't really go any wrong with any Adam Sandler movie from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like even Waterboy would be pretty
Waterboy would be insane.
Yeah, or like Mr. Deeds. Like he was on a hot streak, man. He came out with so many banger movies. But
see, my brain went to like almost like, you know, Johnny Tsunami, Surfer, Endless Summer, maybe. Even, you know,
that's a good one.
Something like that, where just, you know,
those are some good choices.
Cruising, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, this would be crazy, but Die Hard would be pretty cool too. I mean, that's a great movie. Or Pulp Fiction. I don't know. Maybe not Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie, but I don't want that to be my life. Like that is gnarly.
I was just thinking like Pulp Fiction, Big Lebowski. Those are like amazing movies. Big Lebowski would be like a roller coaster. That'd be hilarious.
Big Lebowski would be funny. Yeah.
I could see you being the Big Lebowski.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. The dude.
That room really tied the rug together. Man. All right. What about a quick break here and we'll get back at him, huh? And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hello, Jeff again. I just wanted to quickly mention that this podcast is sponsored by you. If you have ever purchased from Worldwide Cyclery, Trail One, or Kettle, you have supported us, and we genuinely appreciate it, and thank you. It's not the easiest to operate a small business in this day and age, especially not in the bike industry right now. And if you've ever bought from us, I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Thank you. That's all.
And now, back to the show.
All right, back to listener questions.
All right.
Fellas. Hey, fellas.
You want to read it?
No, go for it.
Fellas, thanks for the laughs and the tech details. During a ride, how much water should a rider drink? My riding partner drinks a couple of gulps on each water stop. We usually just take one 21-ounce bottle each. We live in the eastern U.S., so it is not a dry environment. Our rides are only 1 to 2 hours long, but before the end of the ride, she finishes all her water and is asking for mine. My concern is that she is getting waterlogged. I just quote-unquote wet my whistle at each water stop and usually have a gulp remaining at the end. What does your experience tell you about how much water we should drink during the ride? Well, I think you told me this a while ago, like a 1 bottle per hour,
That's like a good average.
that's a good average to
Yeah.
stay relatively hydrated.
Yeah. And if I'm just cruising and that, 21 or 24 ounce bottle might last closer to 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I just try to drink 1 bottle per hour, especially if I'm going long. I don't think you're going to drink too much water with that, especially if you only have one 21 ounce bottle. You're not going to get waterlogged or, drink too much of it.
What is waterlogged? Just
I don't know.
overhydrating?
Honestly, I guess,
I
yeah.
think it just means that
Sloshy,
all
sluggy.
the water that you're drinking is just going to either come out of you or sit in your stomach.
That makes sense.
But,
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
yeah. I mean, I would more or less, though, say you should have electrolytes in your drink versus just water. And, that's probably more important than, say, how much water you're drinking.
Yeah.
You could probably have 5 sips, but if it's, great electrolytes in there and great drink mix, that might get you through an hour or 2 hour ride. But, if you just have water, you're not really replenishing much in your body except making your mouth not dry.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
That's the truth too, because I feel like when you're riding, the water is really only like mentally just making yourself feel relieved, but it's actually not doing that much. I try to plan my water based off of if I'm about to climb a hill or I'm going to take a sip of water when I'm done climbing the hill. So that I can quench my thirst when I'm done with that. But yeah, if you have electrolytes in your bottle, it's going to be much more effective to retain that water and stay hydrated or just bring a bladder with you. And then they don't have to worry about it. You can just drink to your desire.
Yeah, or a fanny pack with a bottle in there. Yeah, it's tough because I like electrolytes too, but it makes me thirstier sometimes. So it's I can't just do one. Almost. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, on the road bike, I'll do 1 bottle electrolytes, 1 bottle normal water.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to just drink normal water.
Same.
yeah. Sometimes in a race, I'll just do 1 normal water too. And half of it's to pour over myself, and half of it's you get deep in a race, and sometimes electrolytes are not good anymore. They're hot, they're nasty. You got to take them down because you need them, but you also back that up with a swish of water, and you're oh, that was actually refreshing type of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no science to it. Everyone's different. Everyone's sweat rate is different. So to break it down gnarly, that's really hard to do. But I'd say 1 bottle-ish per hour, hour and a half with some good electrolytes in there is good. Some scratch or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is a personal question, though.
Yeah, and it's also geographical too, right? Because just say Eastern U.S.
Exactly.
When I was in Breckenridge, it was
dry.
You know how dry it is. It's so dry. You pedal for 5 minutes and your mouth is the
my
Sahara.
throat was hurting all week.
Yeah, you just have to be constantly consuming liquids. So yeah, it really just depends on how hard you're riding, where you're riding, and who you are. Good information though. Next question. Hey guys, love the show and the humor, but here's a serious question, most likely for Liam or that weight weenie guy. I have the 2021 Plus Sid Ultimate Fork on my bike and the lockout stopped working. So I had my local bike shop fit the new Race Day 2 damper 3-position version. With the new damper, I can still compress the fork in lockout mode by pressing the bars down so that the sag ring moves about 3 fingers wide from above the seals. SRAM website says RD2 lockout is supposed to be quote-unquote rock solid, but local bike shop tells me that modern forks are designed to move in lockout mode. What's your expectation for how the fork is supposed to function in lockout mode?
The race day dampers are pretty firm lockout, but that being said, you can always push through them, right? You're just closing off some shim stacks or some ports for oil to move through, right? So it's not completely locked out and it's not really good for it to be. But that being said, it should you should be able to stand up on that fork and it basically doesn't move. Now, if you go off a curb and you slam down, it's going to blow past that and you are going to get, like you said, 30, 40 mile travel from that fork.
It's going to be super stiff.
It's going to be really harsh and stiff. The oil is basically you're forcing oil through something it doesn't want to go through. But yeah, you should be able to basically stand up on that bike and it should feel like it's almost a road bike. It shouldn't be, sloshing like it would be in the pedal or the open mode for that damper. But yeah, a true lockout, it's always going to blow past it on forks these days. So
it's supposed to, right? So
yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both. Like the shop is kind of right. It should move past it, but also it shouldn't be moving easily at all, right? Like I can stand up. I had a race day damper 3-position on my last bike and I could lock that thing out and stand up and it, might move 10 mil based on like my standing stuff, but you don't feel it. It feels completely locked out.
I think when SRAM says rock solid, it's just a marketing term. Like it's never going to be locked in place. It's not how it works.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we've all been there where we've like left your fork or your shock locked and you ride and it's not like it's totally locked. Like you usually get some travel out of it, right? Like it's designed to have some like bypass in the damper or whatever, right? So you're not just like exploding stuff inside.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
So there you go. I mean, maybe get it checked out by another local bike shop. I don't know. Maybe call SRAM Rock Shocks. It's a good question.
All right, next
you
question.
Read that one, Trevor?
Yeah, I got it. I just bought a GT Fury downhill bike out of the box. It has absurd chain slap. Despite adding cush core, chain silencers, and the lower chain guide / bash guard, the bike is just as loud as before. So none of that worked, and the slap is clearly from the X7 derailleur, which I hear has no clutch. I'd love to hear a suggested replacement. One friend says get a 7-speed GX or X01 derailleur / shifter. Other friend says GX and X01 will last only 1 to 2 seasons. They suggest 10-speed Z or Saint replacement because of rebuildable clutch versus SRAM. 10-speed seems overkill for downhill though. I only use 3 to 4 gears at best anyway. Would Z or Saint require replacing the entire drivetrain? I'm fine with the current 9-speed setup, so if a quality compatible derailleur could help, I'd prefer that versus dropping $300 to $400 on a new group set.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, the hard part is you're on the 9-speed X7. Is that 9-speed? I guess so. He says it is.
And that's just like a standard random.
It's probably like an 1136.
It's like not even a DH specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no clutch on that, so it's just going to flop around like crazy.
So,
like he's saying.
I mean, I personally like the GX and XO better, the SRAM setup. I think it's newer than the Z and Saint stuff. I think the clutch on those are way firmer. The Saint and the Z on my Crestline still had crazy noise.
Really?
For my bike. It was kind of
loud.
how the design was of the frame, so I'm not saying it's going to be that on his, but the way it was, like the body still swung a bit and smacked actually part of the chainstay, the way those dropouts sat. And I swapped it to a GX or an XO derailleur and it was dead quiet. And it was like, I went through almost the same thing he was doing. I was like trying to do all the stuff, adding more mastic, trying to mod the derailleur, and I just like ended up buying. It was actually during COVID, so I couldn't buy it. So once it came in stock, and I bought the GX setup, it was like, oh yeah, this is what I should have done from day one.
Yeah.
So if you can, I would just buy the GX derailleur and get the 7-speed GX cassette because it should go straight onto your freehub body. I don't know the retail price of that, but I think it's going to be cheaper than $300 to $400 for both of those. I think so.
You should be able to use the same, use that GX cassette. I mean, he'll have to get a new.
I guess you have to get a new shifter too.
New shifter, derailleur, and cassette. So chain should probably still work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is obviously a cheap
He
part
might
anyways.
or might
but
not have to get a new shifter if it's SRAM.
maybe a couple $100.
But yeah,
Maybe 2.
I would suggest just go full GX.
Yeah.
The XO1 stuff's nice, but like it's not needed. Full GX, that would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I would agree with that too. It's 9 day different in the sound. And you're right. The Z and the Saint stuff, like the cage actually moves. The whole body moves back and kind of hits the B tension plate, it'll hit your frame a little bit. And the clutch on the XO1 and the GX is pretty strong. And you can even tell by looking or listening to the downhill riders in the World Cup circuit, like the Shimano athletes versus the SRAM athletes. Like the SRAM athletes' bikes are considerably quieter than the Shimano ones. And the Shimano one, like it's good, but it's also like at this point old technology.
Yeah, it's
compared to-
like 12 years old,
That's pretty wild.
which is also insane though that it's still winning
still
races.
good.
But
It's
Yeah.
still legit, but it's
I even tried to mod that Z derailleur I had, like to put like basically little shims in where that body hinge to like make the body lock out, and I couldn't get it. I was
Wow.
trying so hard.
And that's supposed to have like a adjustable clutch too.
They have an
right?
adjustable
I
clutch,
mean,
but the clutch isn't an issue. It's where the body attaches to what, like, I think they call the dog link that actually attaches the hanger and a
right,
V-tension plate.
Right. Okay.
That whole unit swings pretty freely independently from the clutch. So,
Weird.
yeah.
and if your clutch is so tight, then that's the only thing that's going to move
Exactly.
during a big impact or something.
Yeah.
No good, Shimano. You should get somebody on that. All right. What is your favorite niche of mountain bikers and your least favorite? Trail riders, cross country fanatics, downhill dudes. Wish you the best, Josh.
I wonder if that's Josh Saunders.
Oh, good
I don't
idea. Well,
Well, Josh Saunders, if that is you, or Josh, you're going to get us in trouble if we say our least favorite. So maybe we just say our favorite.
favorite and least favorite. That's right. Okay. Favorite. I'll go first. I'm going to say favorite is like a total park rat, like dude who's like totally just like he just got off of work and he's like ripping laps in Whistler Bike Park or something. Like I don't know.
My favorite's
That's aspirational.
classic dirtbag.
Right there.
Yeah.
I love a good dirtbag.
Yeah.
Super talented, bike's half clapped. His van's pretty dirty.
Yeah.
You know, that's my favorite.
Maybe doesn't even work.
Most likely doesn't work. Yeah.
Doesn't
I think mine's going to be a park ride as well.
Yeah.
And then I remember when Jared and I were riding in St. George, we rode we were going to ride Flying Monkey Trail.
Oh yeah.
And these guys joined us.
Dude.
And one of the guys looked like he had just woken up from the dirt. And,
He definitely did not have a job.
Had like Rasta hair and stuff. And
Yeah.
he was riding like a status, I think, with no dropper post.
Sick.
So we had to put it up and down every time. We were riding a pretty gnarly trail as well. That's just like pure. He's just doing it for stoke, and
Yep.
that's not to impress anybody, you know.
No.
Just doing it for the right reasons, and I think it's cool. I love like park rats that are riding bald tires too, and just making it work.
Yeah.
Totally.
I respect that.
That guy was legit, you know. And you love that, right? Like people who like the equipment is like the last thing on their mind. Like it's all about the trail and like how good they're riding, the experience. Like I love that. And it just kind of it's extremely refreshing to see that because like we're just so caught up in, you know, all the new here and just everything that is in the industry, and people are just like it's great to see people are so detached from that but just absolutely shred.
Yes, no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses.
Yeah. I like the mountain dirt bag that like knows every trail too.
Yeah.
Every trail ever.
Yeah.
Knows them all by hand, but just like living in his van. Yeah. Doesn't need the newest equipment. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Same. We're all in agreement. Riding a 50-mile cross-country /trail race down in San Diego in a couple of months. I'll be riding my Revel Rascal V1. Obviously, I wish I could be riding a proper XC/downcountry bike like the Ranger, or even an XC hardtail, but finances limit me to one bike. Any tips on how to XCify my trail/all-mountain bike? Any tire wrecks?
Well, I just did this to my SB140
You sure did.
with at Downeyville, which is should be a race where you ride like a big bike, but in order to be competitive, you have to run an XC bike, a very fast one too. So I had to put XC stuff on my 140, and run if you can afford a new wheel set. That's the biggest thing. It's gonna save a ton of weight, but also super fast like XC tires, like an Icon in the rear, or like a Forecaster front tire, or Recon. Man, it makes the bike completely different.
For sure.
You can make a full-on enduro bike pedal fast and efficiently just based off of that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely tires. Recon's great. Forecaster's great up front. Icons are great out back. Icon. If it's in San Diego, well, you said it's kind of a trail race, but if it's a normal XC race in San Diego, you could get away with little tire, like Icons front and rear, depending on your budget. But yeah, obviously lighter wheels would make a big difference, but just tires alone, light, fast tires.
It won't break the bank, and you can make your Rascal so fast.
Yeah.
Super fast. Yeah. The new CEO of Revel is riding his Rascal at Breck Epic right now.
Really?
There you go.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's an extreme XC race.
Wow. Would you change your suspension setup at all? Like, would you stiffen it up a little bit? Would you
maybe add a few PSI here and there.
Yeah.
If you have a 3-position shock, honestly, you could probably just run the rear and pedal
Yeah.
almost the whole time
Yeah.
for an XC race. Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I didn't really change much of my suspension at Downeyville. It was more getting used to the tires and wheels than anything. But
Downeyville's a little different.
Suspension was about the same.
Yeah.
You're still smashing hard at Downeyville.
I maybe saw. I actually no. I take that back. I actually did soften it up quite a bit just to make it super supple. I took out almost all the compression, added some low speed compression, but no high speed compression, and took out some air pressure too, and really just made it like track over all the small bumps.
Yeah.
That's maybe specific to Downeyville.
I was going to say, Downeyville doesn't really have any big hits. It's just a million little
small
chunder.
And I just wanted to track the ground the whole time, have it super supple, and that helped.
Nice. Oh gosh, I want to go ride my bike just talking about all this stuff. Liam, you want to ride that next or read the next one? Ride.
I'll ride it on.
Yeah. Come on now.
I'm going on Phil's Dolomites trip at the beginning of September. Since y'all attended last year, I was wondering if you have any recommendations, what type of riding gear to bring, and maybe some specific recommendations, especially for jackets and layers. Also, are any of the kettle pants good for riding? Do they fit knee pads? Congrats on going on that trip. You're going to be stoked.
Wow. Jealous.
Go hit the Dolomites, have some Aperol Spritz and a lot of espresso. We had really great weather. I don't know if that is how it always is.
Yeah, we had amazing weather.
I brought a very thin wind jacket and I put it on at some of the top of like the Rosettas or top of the peaks, but like for the most part it's like, shorts and t-shirts the whole time.
Yeah.
But it could be the opposite of
but
that.
It could be opposite. So like I'd always bring a good rain layer, rain shell. Kettle Bodbrella is a great one for that.
True.
Packs down pretty small. A small windbreaker is also good to have, but a rain layer is nice. General riding clothes is good. We were there the same time of year. Again, I don't know if we got lucky, but it was super nice out.
It's perfect. Maybe riding pants just in case.
Yeah, riding pants just in case. I think I rode in shorts almost every day though.
I think I did too.
Kettle pants for riding. The only pants I really ride in are the Shenanigans personally.
They're good for riding.
They're a little tight, but they do fit a pair of smaller, like slim knee pads.
There you go.
I've worn them with that.
Nice.
But people ride in events as well. I personally don't. I think they're a little thin.
Yeah,
but
for sure, same.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I would have done differently is like bike setup wise. I probably would have just put straight up double down front and rear. Like we didn't really do like any climbing.
Yeah, I think I ran EXO Plus front double down rear, which I think was solid.
I think I did too. But I don't know. I mean, with so much descending we did and how rocky it was.
7,000 feet of climbing and 70,000 feet of descending.
That's a lot.
We did a lot.
That's huge.
Yeah, so it was like a 1-to-10 ratio or whatever that is.
Damn.
Yeah.
We did a lot of descending.
And
like
run heavy tires.
Of that 7,000 feet of climbing, like 3,000 of that was on like day one.
We did. That was a big day.
We did a lot. Yeah.
It was a huge day on day one.
Like this is gonna be.
We killed half the
trip.
crew. Well, we told him like half the crew was dead, and we are like, dude, that's a little much. We got to tone it down. He's like, all right, we'll shuttle everything. I'm like, okay, sweet. Yeah.
All right, shuttles and gondolas then.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're gonna have a blast, man.
Yeah.
And ask Phil too. Shoot Phil an email. He'll tell you what you need.
Good call.
He lives there, part of the year, and he'll know.
True. Good call.
But definitely come prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the forecast says sunny days, maybe prepare for rainy days.
Yeah.
Because you're in the mountains,
Outside of the kettle pants, the newest Yeti.
Oh, Renegade?
I don't know what they're called.
I think they're Renegade. I just got some of those too.
They are currently my favorite riding pants.
They're really good.
They're really, really nice. So
that's the kind of riding pant I would buy 4 of.
Yeah. I'm about to buy a second pair, honestly.
They're so good.
Nice, yeah.
Like I saw you got those and I was like, okay. Yeah, I got some and I was like, yeah, these are the best riding pants I've ever had.
Sweet.
For sure. We need to copy them. All right. My 14-year-old son has a medium enduro Marin Alpine, I think that's what it's supposed to say, trail bike, and he has loved it, but now it's too small. Should he get a large or an extra large? He's 178 cm and still growing. And that is what?
5'8".
Okay.
5'8"? I thought it was
5.
like 5'9".
Let's just 5.9.
5.83.
So yeah, 5.83. So what is that?
I think that's 5'10". I'm thinking I'm 178.
That's pretty much 5'10".
Yeah.
Right? Because that's weird how the decimals and. But
I think I'm 178, 179. So
that's a good question. I don't know.
how
Large
tall are
bike's
you?
large.
Is the thing. Like, how tall is the dad? How tall is grandpa? Like, is he going to be 6'3"?
Yeah.
And he's going to go straight through large?
Yeah.
Or is he going to, kind of cruise at like the 6'1", then he can just kind of stay on the large?
Yeah.
I would say go with a large though. It's probably a safe bet.
Yeah.
Extra large is pretty big.
It's pretty big, and you're going to hinder like some of his skills and like ability to, flickability of the bike.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe like
it's going to be too big for a long time.
Yeah.
maybe like even teach bad habits. Like
That too, yeah.
it is important to have the right size bike in that regard.
True. You know what's the move that he should do is get a bike with adjustable headset. So then you could do like a plus or minus 10. I don't know.
That could
Frameworks
kinda
Enduro
work.
bike. I don't know.
Frameworks, yeah. Even some of the new Giants I've been seeing have that built in. I think, does Specialized have that, or is that angle set?
It's an angle set.
Angle set, yeah.
You know, I know those bikes are
the Giants
rare,
have a
but
+5, -5, I believe.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice little feature to have in a bike. I'm not like crazy about like flip chips and all that stuff. Like just design the bike how you want it to be ridden.
Yeah.
But like I'm kind of a proponent for adjustable headset. Like that's really nice for sizing when it comes to like in between sizes and growing and stuff like that.
Works great for gorilla gravity. Harsh.
It's too soon. Oh my gosh. All right, you want to read the next one, Trevor?
Yep. In the discussion of mismatched tires and suspension, I would like to add mismatched wheels. My main wheel set is a set of race face turbines with matching tires. I have a second set with downhill tires for park days and enduro races. The park wheel set is a race face A-Effect R rear, and the front is a GT Swiss E1700, but they do have matching brand and sidewall tires. There you go.
Okay.
How does that stack up with mismatched tires or suspension?
I think this is
I think
acceptable.
that's fine.
This is totally cool.
That's all good.
Downhill set.
You're in the clear, bud.
This goes back to our park rat homie that we're talking about, like aspirational park rat who doesn't care about equipment. Like, that's cool.
And especially as a spare set or your downhill set, like,
Yeah.
you're not balling out with that. You're just kind of whatever works.
Yeah.
You ride it 5 times a year and you got the DH tires on. Like,
Yeah.
all good.
If this is your daily driver, that's a whole nother discussion.
Unacceptable. Cannot have mismatched anything. No, I'm just kidding.
Canceled. Absolutely canceled.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Exactly.
Or brother, ew.
Brother, ew. Exactly. All right. Hey guys, I'm an old school mountain bike from Minnesota who has retired from the working world. Fortunately, for the last
Lucky.
5 years, I've enjoyed an ambassadorship at one-on-one bikes, doing demos and building high-end mountain bikes. Your podcast has been helping me keeping up to date with the fast-changing bike industry. Recently, I had the pleasure of working with Cam at a Yeti demo. I mentioned I started listening to you guys for the ASR review. Cam quickly stated, "Those are my boys."
Cam is my boy.
What's up, Cam?
What's up, Cam? And he knew you all well. Cam really helped me learn and use the Yeti Shock Setup app. My question is, does anybody have an app that is used across bike brands and shock setups that works similarly to the Yeti app? That's a good question.
The Yeti app is really good
It is
because
good.
they go through all their bikes and it's specific to their bikes. And even like build kits
Yeah.
and what dampers are on them, it is robust. It is good.
Makes my life easy.
It
Yeah.
does. I think the RockShox Trailhead is similar, right?
That's a good point. Yeah. RockShox Trailhead is pretty good.
I think it's pretty close-ish. They introduced rear shocks on there recently.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
don't know.
Man, I wish just the Yeti one worked for all bikes. 'Cause
I
it's
know.
so good because it's like, I mean, honestly, I feel like for a lot of bikes, maybe it's a good place to start. Like, if you have the same suspension. I mean, obviously the fork is going to be the fork, right?
the fork is the fork.
But
I don't
I know
know.
the
Rear
shock
shocks
is-
can be crazy.
Rear
Like,
shock is going to be different.
Evils and Yetis can be like 40 psi different.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's a good like body weight for a rear shock?
I
Like,
usually start around body weight.
body weight.
Yeah,
you know?
and then kilograms for the fork.
that's cool. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
is a pretty good like starting point. But yeah, you just go off sag. So like from there, you measure your sag and where you're at, and then you need sag's always your starting point, right? You need sag. You can't just like go off this Yeti app and like maybe it's different. Maybe your body position's different than what Yeti's doing, and like
Yeah.
you're still running 35% sag at Yeti's recommended, pressure because you have more rear body bias. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how there's a range in the app too. The Yeti shock setup, whatever. It's like between this pressure and this pressure, like for your tires, for your suspension, for everything, it's pretty cool. I mean, and it makes it so easy, especially for demos. Like, setting up a bike
Yeah.
can be, oh my God,
it is really nice for demos.
super nice for demos. But to our knowledge, there is not like a I mean, because you have different brands, right? Like it's going to vary based on the bike and the brand and the suspension
leverage
brand.
ratio, shock you're using, rock shocks versus Fox.
That would be a very robust application to have all of that data.
Yeah.
And one for every brand and suspension setup. That'd be pretty cool, though. Maybe you could start it.
I would try the RockShox Trailhead app to see. I would start there and see if there's something that works for you, your bike, and your shock.
Yeah, there you go.
And just don't be afraid to just play with settings. Ride the same trail a couple times and change something. And if you don't like it, then go back, go the opposite way, and eventually you'll find something that works.
Yeah.
Just trial and error, kind of as a process. That's what I'm doing right now with the XT stuff, and you just got to do it.
Well said. This is a good question. Yo, I'm looking to get a new bike, and I'm stuck between an Evil Insurgent or a Transition Patrol. What do you guys think? Any recommendations? A couple of Bellingham brands.
Beham Bros. I'm going to go Patrol.
I'm going Patrol too. I don't know.
I like the simplicity of it.
Those new transitions are pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even carry Transition anymore, and we do carry Evil, technically, I think. Yeah, I like the simplicity of the Transition.
Yeah.
Horse link bikes just work really well. Evils have a bit more going on.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I go Patrol personally.
Yeah, me too. A little bit simpler lines.
Yep.
I don't know. Trevor, what would you get?
Yeah, I think the same way.
Wow.
I've always wanted to ride a Transition. Never really have, but yeah.
We used to have them, years back, like kicking around. Last one I probably rode was a Spur. That was kind of a cool bike.
Yeah.
I thought that it was a little bit too much, a little too active in the suspension. Like when I was pedaling, like it was very bobby. It probably wasn't totally set up for me perfectly, but I don't know. I think that's probably just a downside of that linkage.
Single pivot bikes with flex stays can either go one or two ways, or one or the other way, right? Has a little bit of initial support, like the Epic Evo. You take the shock off and you cycle that, and you feel the initial support to dive.
Really?
And that dive is then counteracted by the ramp up of an air shock, so it feels smooth all the way through it. Now, if you feel a Yeti or the Spur, they're soft off the top, and then at the end of the stroke, you feel that flex stay starting to flex. So they both are pretty active off the top. The Yeti's very similar. Makes for a much more supple, smooth ride. But you kind of do need the lockout to get that pedal support that you want for, a 120-ish fast pedaling bike. So
Yeah.
I
don't know. Yeah.
But Patrol isn't not a flex stay though.
No. The Patrol's a big dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's a mullet. I think it's a mullet, like 160 rear.
I think it looks pretty good too. I got some pictures pulled up right now. I think it looks pretty good. I do remember my buddy had an old Transition, and maybe they fixed them now, but you're right. The rear end is extremely active and seemed like it sagged a lot, a lot, and it bobbed a lot while you're pedaling as well. So maybe they fixed that now, or I don't know, but I'm sure it goes downhill great.
Yeah, I think that's just a downside of, what do they call it, a horse link bike. Maybe a little bit, like they're just not. Yeah, it's like, well, coming from a Yeti or like Switch Infinity, it's like there's zero bob. Like, it just goes.
I think you can tune it in, with your anti-squat, but if you raise the anti-squat, above 100, so you don't get that bob, you're gonna counteractively mess with your anti-rise, and then you're gonna have some brake jack and so on. So
it's all about balancing.
It's a trade-off always.
Yeah, it's always a trade-off. But that being said, I would go Patrol. It also comes in alloy. I just kind of love big travel bikes in alloy. I don't know, they make me happy. So.
I was thinking the same thing. That'd be a sick park bike or enduro rig, just an aluminum.
Yeah,
aluminum
bash it. Thrasher.
Really want to ride bikes. All right, next one. Hey y'all, I'm new to MTB, very new and out of shape, LOL, and started listening to the podcast a few weeks ago. I've already learned so much and appreciate the episodes. Question, I got a deal from a relative on a 2021 Trek Roscoe 8, I believe it's all original. It has 27.5 by 2.8 tires. My buddy says it's ideal for downhill, but here in southwestern Michigan, it's relatively flat. Some climbs and flowy downhill, but do you think the tires I have are good or bad? I've never ridden anything else, so I don't really know how it's supposed to act or the trade-off of pros and cons. But it seems to eat up any rocks and roots on the trail. I don't know if I'd be any better off dropping to a 2.6. Any suggestions on PSI would help too. Any information or recommendations are appreciated. Thank you guys. Keep up the good work on the podcast. That's tough.
So I did look up Trek Roscoe 8 because I had actually never heard of the Roscoe 8 before. But it's like a hardtail.
High stay bike. Does it have high stay on it?
High chain stay?
Yeah.
Not really.
No,
just a normal hardtail, but it's got like plus size tires on it,
Yeah.
right? With the 27.5. And I saw the new ones are coming stock with 2.6 tires. So
Interesting.
not the worst idea. I think if you went with, I guess it depends on what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
relatively flat, some climbs, flowy downhill. I think some fast 2.6 tires would be good for you. And you can run some low PSI, like kind of what you were running in your Rebel.
Mm-hmm. On my hardtail. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2.6 recons are really good. That would be pretty legit. I was running 2.6 recons with like 20
Low
20
20s.
psi. Yeah. Also, this could probably fit 29er wheels, right? If it's
might.
running a plus size,
It would. You'd have to get new wheels
you'd
themselves.
have to get new wheels. But I mean, it would be way faster.
Yeah,
like,
2.9 by 2.4. But
yeah,
I mean, to not get new wheels, I'd go with the 2.6 Recon personally.
yeah, for sure, same. But if you did get new wheels,
Yeah.
maybe also 2.6 recon, I don't know. Or 2.4
2.9,
recons.
2.4 Recon, something
Yeah,
like that.
that would be really fast.
And then maybe like a little bit knobbier front tire if you're trying to prioritize the downhill or get some traction. But
yeah,
having the 2.6 with the low PSI is a really good kind of balance of bump absorption, but also traction as well, and not rolling the tire too. So definitely you can have some fun on that bike still.
yeah, I think 2.8 is definitely a little overkill, especially if you don't have like a ton of technical riding.
Yeah, I guess the 2.8 like kind of fills the volume and make it more like a 29er a little bit.
Yeah,
but
True.
I think the 2.6 probably does a better job at just all around riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't feel as floaty.
Yeah.
It's so vague.
Yeah. Do you think that smaller tires on a 27.5 would drop the bottom bracket too much?
No, not
by 0.2 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.2.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be
If you
fine.
put,
Yep.
I'm sure the rims on that are very wide as well. Probably maybe 35 mil.
Probably, huh?
Maybe I don't know, but I wouldn't go lower than that for that setup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 29ers, sure, but not with the 27.5.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, boys, that wraps this one up. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, you should send it to a friend. You should also, if you haven't rated us already, you can rate us on your favorite podcast platform, screenshot it, send it to podcast@worldwidecyclery.com, and we'll give you
A free gift of
$15 gift card to the website.
I don't know what it is.
I give it to you every time. I know you don't know it, and that's why I do it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love you.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Love ya.
Drop a comment.
Subscribe.
Great podcast.